Hello, and welcome to another episode of Movie Spoiler Alerts. Today we're talking about the 2017 World War II film, Dunkirk, so let's get started. In 1940, during the fall of France, hundreds of thousands of Allied soldiers have retreated to the beach at Dunkirk. Tommy, a young British private, is the sole survivor of a German ambush. At the beach, he finds thousands of troops awaiting evacuation and meets Gibson, who is burying a body. After a German dive bomber attack, Tommy and Gibson rush his stretcher onto the hospital ship hoping to get on board and escape, but are denied passage themselves. The ship is sunk by dive bombers, and Tommy saves Alex, another soldier. They leave at night on a destroyer, which is sunk by a torpedo from a U-boat. Gibson saves Tommy and Alex, and they are brought ashore by a rowboat. The Royal Navy requisitions as many civilian vessels that can get close to the beach. Mr. Dawson and his son Peter and their friend George set out on the boat themselves. At sea, they rescue a shell-shocked officer from a wrecked ship. When the officer realizes that Dawson is sailing for Dunkirk, he creates a struggle that causes George to fall and suffers a head injury that renders him blind. 3 Spitfires head towards France. After their leader is shot down, pilot Ferrier assumes command with a shattered fuel gauge, but the other Spitfire is hit and crashes. Its pilot, Collins, is rescued by Dawson's boat. Tommy, Alex, and Gibson join a group of Scottish soldiers and hide inside a trawler until the tide rises. German troops shoot at the boat for target practice. When the tide rises, water enters through the bullet holes. Alex, hoping to lighten the boat's load, accuses Gibson, who has been silent the entire time, of being a German spy. Gibson reveals that he is actually French, and he assumed the identity of the soldier that he had buried earlier in the film, hoping to evacuate with the British. Alex, Tommy, and the Scottish soldiers abandon the fishing boat when it begins to sink. Gibson is entangled in chains and drowns. Alex and Tommy swim to a nearby destroyer, but it is sunk by a bomber. Dawson's boat maneuvers to pick up troops, including Alex and Tommy. Peter realizes that George is dead, but when the shell-shocked officer asks, he lies and says that George will be fine. Ferrier shoots down a pursuing bomber, which crashes and ignites the oil slick from the sinking destroyer. Ferrier reaches Dunkirk, his fuel exhausted. Gliding over the beach, he shoots down a dive bomber. He lands beyond the Allied perimeter, sets fire to his plane, and is taken prisoner by German soldiers. At the beach, British Royal Navy Commander Bolton watches the last British soldiers leave. He confirms that 300,000 have been evacuated, 10 times more than Prime Minister Winston Churchill had hoped for. He remains to oversee the evacuation of the French rearguard. Alex and Tommy cross the English Channel and board a train. Dawson is congratulated for having saved so many men. The shell-shocked officer sees George's body being carried away. Peter visits the local newspaper with a photo of George, and a front-page article later commends George as a hero. Alex expects public scorn, but they receive a hero's welcome. As the film concludes, Tommy reads out Churchill's address to the nation from a newspaper. So that was the spoilers for Dunkirk. If you have another film you'd like to see me spoil, please let me know in the comments below. Check out movie spoiler alerts on our various forms of social media, and remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.